Oh, so cursed, may you burn in hell forever, 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 forever. Oh, so cursed, may you burn in hell forever, 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 forever.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Boulevard Bullies YouTube channel. Duck, watch out! Here comes the lame! I am PK, and I am joined by my boomer co-host. Looking good. Where the hell are you? You look like you're about... Hold on, I have you muted. I'm a boomer too because I had you muted.
What's up, man? No problem.
Hey, you look like you're about to record a scathing Facebook video.
You ever hear of the kid from Brooklyn?
Maybe.
He was like one of the OG like viral like YouTubers, and it was like a guy from Brooklyn, just some old head, some big fat white guy that would just like bitch about like stuff going on in the world, and he was like bitching about Yankee Stadium one day. It's a good video. I won't go into it, but it was about Bat Day and how they hand out 50,000 baseball bats, but they won't let you on with a penknife. They're like patting you down and stuff. Meanwhile, they're handing out 50,000 baseball bats.
So you are relaxing from your Facebook recliner with your Phillies MAGA hat on, obviously.
I'm in MAGA country up here in the mountains. I passed on the way, so I drove through Scranton to get up here, and there was a President Biden expressway.
Oh.
It's funny you have to get past the President Biden expressway to get to Trumpville up here.
Scranton, PA, fighting the power. They're like, all these Trumpers, they're going to have to drive on the Biden expressway.
Yeah. I'm not driving on that expressway, even if it kills me.
So where the heck are you, Trump country?
Catskills Mountains. New York. Not New York, but New York.
And you're basically like you're on the Guns N' Roses tour trail.
Yeah,
basically.
Something like that.
You're following them around, listening to "Sweet Child of Mine" as much as you possibly can.
Yeah,
because
3 hour long.
You love that song.
Can't get enough of it. Saw it with Carrie Underwood last weekend. She came out and sang it.
Wow. All right.
Well, it was Carrie Underwood opening in Nashville last weekend.
Mm-hmm.
And then she came out and did Sweet Child of Mine and Paradise City.
Nice. Sounds thrilling.
She's a good show. She's a pretty good show.
What's your favorite part of the Guns N' Roses show, since you've seen them like a dozen times at this point?
Probably the first song, and then I realized after that, like, oh, what am I doing here?
What's the first song? Welcome to the jungle.
No, It's So Easy. The first song off Appetite.
The hell is that?
It's So Easy.
That's the song. It's So Easy.
That's the name of the song. Everyone's trying to please me, baby.
Huh. That seems like a strange song to open up with. I'd be like, what the hell song is this?
It's just like the impact of like, a band first going on, and then you realize, oh, I have to sit here for another 2 hours and 50 minutes.
Yeah, it's a long time.
They play too long, and Axl's voice is shot. They have to, Duff and the other keyboardists have to do backups now. Like majority of the set, they have to do backups.
I went to see Seven Dust, and the screamer, or the drummer of Seven Dust is also the screamer.
The screamer?
Yeah, he's like the guy who was like, can't stop fucking with. Anyway, he's like being all theatrical. The guy's like 60 years old, but he's still got his like dreads, and he's playing. And he was like, obviously the backing track, like it sounded perfect. It sounded like he was back in 1997, and he was just lip syncing that bitch. He was like, yo, I'm fully committed. Much like Chris Jericho singing his way down the ramp at Wembley Stadium.
Yeah, it was, in auto-tune.
Yeah, in auto-tune. And we'll get to All In, but I think what Chris Jericho did is I think he pre-recorded his live vocals. I don't think that he was doing the lip-syncing from the actual track. I think he, did it earlier in the day when he like wasn't out of breath, so that it sounded natural, but there were a few times where that microphone wasn't really that close to his face.
Yeah, and he does the lame hype up at the beginning, but we'll go into it.
So how was Nashville? Did you get hot wings? Did you get hot chicken?
I got hot chicken, and it wrecked me. It was hot.
So you were like, by the third song of Guns N' Roses, you were just in the bathroom.
Bro. Yeah, I know. I had it on Friday when I flew in, so I was good by showtime Saturday.
That sounds like an eventful evening in Nashville.
Well, I had hot chicken, and then we went to Circle 6.
Oh, that's right. You went to Circle 6. You sent me a video of estranged Bully's family member, Casanova Valentine, waddling his way to the ring at Circle 6.
Yeah, I had no idea. I knew the promoter. I ran into him there, John, and then I was like, "Hey," and he's like, "Oh, this is my whole thing," and he was like shooting it and promoter, I guess. I was like, "Oh, I had
Nice.
no idea." He's like, "I'm flying back red eye tonight to see Metallica in L.A. because he's from L.A." So shout out to him. Good show though. Good show. He was trying to do the whole hardcore, mixing the hardcore kids with the wrestling kids because that's like a pretty good market tap. You know how it is.
Yeah, like a
now.
little crossover.
Yeah, because a lot of these hardcore kids are wrestling fans now. They're looking for the next hot trend.
So were there musical acts that played this show?
Yeah. So the show started late, like 15 minutes late. And he said it was only going to go like 2.5 hours, and we ended up leaving early. But first match, like Cass and Tank, that was fine. And then it was like a 15-minute break, and then then the band played right away. I think after that, it was a hardcore band, and there was like another band in this other room at this bar. So it was really cool bar and stuff like that. And then went back in and saw, what was it, Matt Justice and somebody versus somebody and somebody.
Yeah, Matt Justice is like their Hulk Hogan. He like jumps off the whatever the thing is at the thing. Did he jump off of something?
I mean, he jumped off the stage.
Well, there you go. That's
like a
enough.
bunch of unprotected chair shots.
Yeah, as long as he
That's a
jumps
bar
off of
show.
something,
It's a bar show. They're being silly. You know what I mean?
Oh, so it was a no ring?
There's no ring bar. I'm sorry. Yeah, no ring.
Oh.
Yeah. So it's just a bunch of hipsters and hardcore kids in a very hot 110-degree bar.
Sounds awesome.
So,
how much was it to get in? So those shows are like $6.
It was $20 to get in.
Wow.
Yeah.
Still pretty cheap.
Yeah. I mean, well, 6 probably before COVID, and now 20 now.
Did you steal a commemorative chair?
I did not. I did find a chair.
Nice.
But we'll be doing plenty of that for Grand Slam.
Nice. Yeah, we're bringing like a wagon with us.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna like
a Civic,
walk around with the wagon and steal chairs. So that's pretty cool. You got to see a wrestling show and then a little Guns N' Roses featuring Carrie Underwood. You got to blow up your intestines with Tennessee's own hot chicken.
It was really good, but I can't eat that often unless it's going to be like one that's no seasoning, like no heat whatsoever. I got medium heat.
No, see, I want all the heat. You got to get the Tennessee heat in there.
Brutal, bro. I mean, I like hot stuff, but oof.
So Starfield sucks. Starfield, the new BGS, Bethesda Game Studios offering.
Bethesda, yeah.
Bethesda.
It's a city in Maryland, I think.
Well, the makers of Skyrim, the makers of Fallout 3 and 4. This is their new big thing. It's like a space game.
Endeavor. The new Endeavor. They went to space this time.
Yeah, new IP. But apparently
First
it looks...
they did post-apocalyptic.
Right.
Then they did medieval dragons. Well, no, they've always been jumping on and off. It goes like post-apocalyptic, then like Oblivion, Elder Scrolls, whatever, and then eventually they worked their way up to something nobody asked for.
Space travel.
I love sci-fi and space travel, but it's a AAA game, so I'm going to wait on it no matter what.
Yeah. Well, apparently it's not that great. IGN gave it a 7. And if IGN gave it a 7, that's probably true score 3.
Yeah, IGN gave a Mando episode a 4 based off the brightness of the episode, so I don't know how reputable they are.
Well, they gave...
The real reviews are Metacritic.
So what's the Metacritic review of Starfield? Oh, well, it hasn't come out yet. It's
Well, I think
still in like early access or whatever.
Yeah, I think it was like at least in the 80s, like 80, 84. I checked today.
Huh.
For
Well, from what I'm seeing, it looks like Fallout in outer space.
and they said the
Apparently,
combat's like fine. Exploration just isn't what people expected, apparently.
no VATS. You know, is there
Oh, yeah.
VATS? Yo, that's the best.
That was
Yeah.
the best. Well, that's the best part of Bethesda games is the ragdolling and the jankiness,
Yeah.
which
Well,
apparently is in this.
oh, good. Oh, good.
Yeah.
Well, maybe one day, long in the future, I'll need something to play and I'll pick it up. I'll probably love it at that point.
Yeah.
It's like when the movie's free, it's a lot better than when you pay to go to the movie theater.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Who
saying?
pays to go to a movie theater?
I don't know.
In New York, it's like $35.
Last time I went to see a movie, it was because John Cena was the villain in Fast and Furious. And yeah, tickets were $25 each.
Plus tax, probably.
Woo. You got to sneak in your own snacks. So let's talk about some wrestling. There's a lot of good wrestling that happened. All In was as advertised somewhat, and there was more drama and another fight. Of course, that's my favorite part of it. A show that you love to talk about, but is very painful to watch. And then they're doubling up a quick in, out, last week in, next week out, and in between that, Payback, WWE Payback.
Oh, yeah.
So did you watch
What's
any
going on
Monday
this
Night
week?
Raw? Let's get to Raw. Let's go through Payback before we dive deep into the AEW All In Out review.
Yeah, I did watch a little bit of Raw this week, and then I watched like a very quick YouTube video of what else happened, and that's basically the extent of preparation I do for the show for Raw.
Smart. Good.
I mean, like for just a Payback, it's like kind of whatever.
Well, I'll tell you this. Trish Stratus and Zoe Stark beat the shit out of each other. They had like a Falls Count Anywhere match. It was crazy. There was at least 3 to 4 absolutely brutal table spots.
This was the main.
Was it the main? It might
I
have
think
been.
it was.
It might have
I
been.
think it was because then like that was the spot where Becky put up her armband for Bray.
Right, and apparently during the commercial break, she did a whole talk.
About Bray?
Yeah, about Bray. She told a whole story. Yeah, it was either the main or maybe it was like 9:15. But anyway, Trish Stratus did like a bulldog to Zoe Stark off of like a stage into the crowd on a table. Or maybe it was Becky. I don't know, but it looked like Trish Stratus.
No, both happened. No, she threw Trish off of it, and then she turned around and bulldogged the other girl.
Yeah, well, either way, whoever did the bulldog, I thought they broke their butt for sure. Just a bulldog right on the concrete from like 4 feet up, 3 feet up. Ouch.
They pad underneath those tables. They gimmick everything.
Well, I don't know. It seemed to me, then I'm a big old mark because it seemed to me like these women were just out fighting on the concrete.
Oh, yeah.
God bless them.
What else happened on the show?
What else did I see? I just looked at clips. I saw that Seth freaking Rollins was wearing the Bray Wyatt Fiend side pieces on the title.
The side plate, yeah.
The side plate.
It seemed like everybody, from what I saw, everyone was still kind of I mean, it only happened not just last week, but this is all the first time the whole staff of Raw was there, unless you flew into SmackDown. So everyone was very like teary-eyed and clearly emotionally like, taxed. I think when Ciampa came out, he looked like he was kind of, Seth also, when they went to like a promo for Nakamura on the big screen, it came back and he was a little teary-eyed too. Obviously Becky. You get that little idle moments where you start to think about that stuff. So something I noticed.
Well, yeah, for sure. They were all wearing the armbands, and they WWE did do the video package remembering Bray, but they didn't do everyone out on the stage rocking chair type of thing. Yo, did you
I
see
feel like
the-
they should have should have made this one a tribute one too, like double down both shows. It's kind of a big deal.
Kind of thought that the rocking chair thing was a little weird. It's a little like cringy. That
Did
like
they do that on SmackDown?
they did that on SmackDown, right? Where it's like they all stand there and then the lights go out. You know, I think it's cool that now forever the lighters or the cell phones in the air will be known as fireflies. So that's cool. But oh my god, the fact that they did rocking chair, single spotlight, and then like played the song. And then have you seen the video where Samantha Irvin is looking like dead in the camera, doing like, he's got the whole world.
She sung it?
Yeah, she's singing it like it's like a TikTok, and she's like singing it.
I gotta watch that.
Yeah, it's a little. The Gallows and Anderson stories of Bray were cool. Like I saw that today, and they told like a funny like story from Japan. And those guys are like seem like cool guys. So yeah. The
They
world
all
is
came up
still,
in that same NXT class.
yeah. The world is still reeling, for sure.
I like the guy. I just wish they would have kept doing a little more for him. But I guess people just have to move on.
Apparently, he took a nap without his defibrillator. That's the story. That he took a nap, never woke up, and the defibrillator that he's supposed to wear was in his car. He wasn't wearing it.
That's all that takes? What kind of heart disease did he have?
Well, he had like a serious issue where they sent him home with the thing, just in case he goes into like cardiac arrest or some shit. And I guess he wasn't like wearing it, and that's what happened. He fucking took a little nappy.
And what's this COVID thing?
Apparently, he had a pre-existing heart condition that COVID exacerbated. And
And that's why he was in the shape he was with a defibrillator.
Right, and then he had like some kind of other cardiac event that was COVID and genetically related, combined. And then so now he's recovering from this cardiac event. He's working to get back in the ring, whatever. And so that's what led him to having the defibrillator, and he wasn't always wearing it, I guess. Yeah, so it's fucking crazy.
Yeah, I'm sure it's a pain in the ass. I bet he, maybe he just got tired and fell asleep. That's all it took. Shit.
Yeah, sad times. Also what happened on Monday Night Raw is LA Knight came out, or I'm sorry, The Miz came out dressed like LA Knight. Yeah.
Was that funny, or are you is the Miz like impersonation thing just old? It's an old shtick now.
I like the Miz impersonation. This one he did like pretty well. He like painted like beard on, and he came out. He looked like him. He had like
he
the
said
Timbs.
Something like, "I'm messing up my lines when I talk to the Miz."
Right,
like something like that. Like I'm tripping over my words.
Yeah, because LA Knight did. He inverted his like switched words or something.
He's done it a few times. Yeah.
Yeah. So the Miz like owned him, destroyed him. Loved it.
Owned.
So yeah, the Miz has come out as John Cena. He's come out as LA Knight. Who
The
else
Rock?
has the Miz come out as?
I think The Rock, right?
Yeah, he's come out as The Rock. And I don't know, somebody else. But you love to see it. The Miz, underrated.
So what are the matchups for this Payback then?
So speaking of The Miz, he will be fighting LA Knight at Payback. Speaking of Becky Lynch, she's going to have a cage match with Trish Stratus. That was like supposedly one of the angles that was cut from SummerSlam, so they like pushed it over to this. Seth Franklin Rollins is going to fight Shinsuke Nakamura for the heavyweight championship. And the thing is, Shinsuke Nakamura, he knows about Seth Rollins' back now. Now the whole world knows about his back. So high stakes. Rhea Ripley versus Raquel Rodriguez. Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens versus the Judgment Day in a Steel City street fight.
Oh, it's in Pittsburgh, yeah.
And then this is one that was very strange. I haven't really been following this enough to know why this is happening, but apparently you're going to have a pay-per-view version, a PLE, premium live event version of the Grayson Waller effect with special guest Cody Rhodes.
The what?
Yeah. Reading it right here from their website.
Oh, is that like a show where it's like a promo? It's like the Cutting Edge?
Yeah, it's like they'll put plants in the ring.
Yeah, plants. Yeah, on a couch.
There will be plants and a couch, and
The
Grayson
MVP
Waller.
lounge.
Yeah,
The
Grayson
cutting
Waller will talk
edge.
to
Jericho highlight reel.
the KO show.
KO show.
Yes.
Um, so that's all. So Cody's gonna feud with him now.
Yeah, or maybe I guess it'll like devolve into a match. Here's another interesting thing is that John Cena apparently is going to be coming back. But I don't think is John Cena coming back this Friday? Or is he going to miss
I saw he
Payback?
was advertised for 6 or so consecutive SmackDowns.
Right. So, I mean, could the
What is that
Grayson
about?
Waller effect? Well, I kind of like the idea of Cody going from Brock Lesnar now to John Cena. John Cena is standing in his way. So Cody has to have a mutual respect fight with John Cena. I would love
Could
that.
that be? I mean, 6 weeks. Is that Survivor Series? Could he be promoting all the way into Survivor Series, and it could be Cody versus Cena then?
No, I don't think so because Survivor Series is in more than 6 weeks.
Maybe he
weeks
got
from
signed for
now-
more than 6 dates, but either way, I saw that he was around for a little bit.
6 weeks from now is like mid-October.
Yeah, maybe don't quote me on 6 weeks, but I know he was around.
I feel like I heard that number too, though. Yeah.
Maybe someone in chat can help us with that.
Confirm, deny. So are you looking forward to any of these matches? Also, you have
No.
also you have Rey Mysterio versus Austin Theory for the U.S. title.
Too many pay-per-views, man. But now AEW is also going that way too. There's just too many pay-per-views. Like, how many pay-per-views are just in this next week and a month and a half span?
Well,
Or 2
how
months.
much is the
In 2
All
months.
In?
2 month span. SummerSlam, All In, Payback, All Out, Grand Slam. Technically, that's not a pay-per-view, but
Grand
still,
Slam
like,
is coming. And in the beginning of the
4.5 big
summer,
shows.
they did something. What did they do? Double or Nothing or whatever they did in like May.
Oh no, that's Memorial Day.
It's
that's
still
in May.
technically the beginning of the summer.
Yeah.
Kind of kicks
but
it all
this is-
off.
in 60 days, 4 giant shows. But as for looking forward to anything on this, absolutely not. No.
I mean, it's pretty predictable. I think Seth Franklin Rollins overcomes back problems to retain against Nakamura. Becky Lynch beats Trish Stratus in a steel cage. Rhea Ripley retains over Raquel Rodriguez. Undisputed tag team street fight, Sami Zayn and KO. They got to retain. Can't just give it to the Judgment Day. Although, that might be interesting if you put it on the Judgment Day. I don't know who from the Judgment Day is wrestling them. I think Austin Theory beats Ray. LA beats The Miz. And I don't know, maybe I guess Cody and Grayson Waller have like an impromptu match.
Could Cena show up in that?
We'll see. I don't know if Cena. Let's see. I'm actually gonna Google it right now.
Also, they had J.D. McDonough, Jordan Devlin, joining. What's he doing now with the Judgment Day? Just being a little shit.
Yeah, I guess he's trying to like. Yeah, he's just being a little shit.
Basically.
I'm gonna do John Cena SmackDown dates.
Well, he's buds with Finn Balor, so.
Right, so that's what he's saying. Like,
Well, Balor trained him.
yeah, so he's gonna be in Hershey, Pennsylvania for SmackDown on Friday tomorrow.
Oh, I gotta go back to Philly.
You gotta go, hurry. Oh, and also like SmackDown next week is in India.
That's Superstar Spectacle or whatever that is?
Yeah, Hyderabad, India. Hyderabad, India.
So my girlfriend is Indian, and I was like trying to say that name to her.
Uh-huh.
She's probably listening to the show right now. But I like butchered it.
Worse than I just did?
Yeah, I think she called me a racist, but you sounded more racist saying it just now.
Well,
so.
I'm not racist. I'm just not good with the language. And
Off the hook.
that's why I'm not good with language, because I feel like to be good with like language and accents, you have to have like confidence. And I feel like when I try to speak in a the correct accent, I feel racist by trying to do the accent.
Yeah.
You know, like I feel more like how do you speak to like the kitchen guys at the restaurant? Do you
I
have
speak in a British accent. Let's have a pint.
Oh, that's smart. That's smart. But you know what I mean? It's like, so I find myself, it's like, I feel like me trying to have a Spanish accent while I speak to them in Spanish is somehow more racist than me just saying the things like a regular white guy terribly.
Well,
I feel like the
thing
attempt is more disrespectful.
Well, you kind of need to also, at least with the Spanish language, you don't have to use the accent, but it definitely like helps with like, if you're like rolling some of the words.
Well, how do you say this
Usually
city?
rolling some of the letters sometimes.
How do you say this city in India? Were you taught how to say it correctly?
Yeah, but I already forgot.
Hershey,
She says I don't
Pennsylvania,
listen.
somewhere in
She says I
India
don't listen. It is what it is.
for Superstar Spectacle, then Denver, Colorado, Glendale, Arizona, and Sacramento, California. Those are John Cena's dates. So he's basically just doing September.
Oh, that's it. Or
Yeah,
maybe
September
he'll
1st through
start
29th.
something with Cody. I mean, I like what you're getting onto with that. So maybe he'll start something with that, and then show back up in November.
Hey, maybe.
Oh, he's around because of the strike.
Right, there are no movies.
Oh, that's why.
But ironically enough, Couples Retreat 2 starring John Cena is coming out. So I guess they just filmed 2 movies in one when they were filming the original one. And they're like, oh, we'll have this one in the chamber just in case.
Yeah, one in the chamber, yeah.
Yeah, so John Cena,
One in the pipe.
that's the one where he's like, he's got a goatee and messy hair and he like gives them ecstasy or something.
Yeah, he's like a goofball role in that one, apparently. I haven't seen it, but
I love John Cena as an actor. Give me the John Cena Peacemaker over anything The Rock does any day of the week.
you like John Cena car commercial?
Dude, I love everything John Cena. Car commercial.
Yeah. He's like a 4x4, 7-cylinder, 29 horsepower. Like I don't know what car he got the advertisement for. But
Oh, like the Chevy hybrid or whatever he does.
is that what it is?
He does a few.
Chevy hybrid.
He does a few. He's like an accomplished voice actor as well.
Who was the next superstar at their level? Like Rock, Cena, and like who's the next one up?
The next actor?
The next soon-be actor? Because it ain't gonna be the Miz. Miz hasn't.
I think the Miz is happy. He's got a nice life.
Yeah.
He's happy with.
And
his
then
life.
I think Alexa Bliss is pushing for it, but I don't think that's gonna happen. I think she's gonna kind of do the Miz level. She'll always be like a B level or C level celebrity.
Who's the next Batista?
Oh, Batista. I'm sorry. There's also Batista too.
Well, Batista's the next in line, but Batista's already been in an M. Night Shyamalan.
Batista is above them.
Yeah, he's already there.
Like if you're talking the top tier, it's Batista, who's the most successful. I think from my point of view, because you could say The Rock is the most successful one, just from sheer like probably net wealth or like how much they've made and branding and Under Armour and
Batista has a better filmography.
Better range. Just like he's had small little roles where he's like super serious. He's in Dune, like that's a very serious role. He was in Blade Runner, that was super serious, and then he goes and does goofball Drax, which is also a very serious role.
but he's but that's super successful because that's like a huge movie, and to people who don't know wrestling, they love him like. It's like you love him like you love Brick and Anchorman. It's like Brick and Anchorman put Steve Carell on, dude. Because he was like the funny other guy. And like that's kind of what Batista is doing. And he's
Rock
getting good
did
work.
nothing forever.
Yeah, and even the Rock movies now are terrible movies.
Yeah.
When you see The Rock's face in a movie, you know it's going to be bad.
Cena doesn't have a lot of... What movies did he do? He did like some BS movies before he did Suicide Squad, right?
Yeah, he did like the thing where he's a firefighter and whatever.
Oh,
and
Triple H tried to do it too. That's right, and Edge too. But Edge was retired or whatever.
I don't think it's gonna be Cody. I don't think Cody's more of like he'll get into like politics.
Yeah.
Something.
What about Roman?
I don't know.
Roman Reigns doesn't suck.
Guy
Remember
with
that
the
song?
wettest hair. Yeah.
He's not the basis of Metallica.
Yeah, that's the best song ever. I
I
don't picture Roman Reigns being good because he might be like the best wrestling actor, but he doesn't have it the way like John Cena or The Rock does. Like he's not really like he's like magnetic within his character, but like the normal him, I don't know. We already got Jason Momoa.
Did you see he was at the Metallica concert in LA in the pit?
Jason Momoa or Roman Reigns?
Jason Momoa.
Damn.
He was like goof. He was just like a goofball. Like, you know how like Jason, you know that Jason Momoa is like one of the corniest people in Hollywood.
Right.
Like, have you seen him? Have you seen the like? Have you just seen him like not in like a serious role? Like,
No, I know that he was the master of ceremonies for Shark Week this year.
yeah. Did you see any of that? It was awful. Like
No.
they just let him just like no scripted. I think.
I've never seen him say one word to anyone anywhere. I just know that he exists and he's like Aquaman,
It's kind of
Roman
like
Reigns.
I'm Jason Momoa and I'm really awkward and yeah, this is like Shark Week and then he's just like, oh, it's gonna be awesome. Yeah, let's do it. Yeah, this is gonna be great. Let's like it's just like the corniest, like hot big dude ever. Like what is going on here? You would not expect this from him. So it was just like goofing off in the Pantera Metallica pit over the weekend. And
Nice.
it was pretty apropos to how he's been acting. I don't know, maybe just letting loose lately. Maybe he's tired of the serious roles.
Who's the next big? Is it like Bianca? Is it like Bianca
Monet.
or Rhea?
It's Monet.
Monet.
Monet was in Star Wars, so she might be back.
She was in Star Wars. She was at All Out as well.
Nah, I can't wait to talk about that.
Well,
Let's
that's what
finish
we're
up with
talking about.
Are we going into it right now?
I mean,
Is that
I'm
it?
looking at the payback card. It's like, okay, cool. Like,
Yeah.
I'm kind of mildly interested in LA Knight versus The Miz. I guess the continuing evolution of Rhea Ripley is always very interesting to me.
Rhea's like one of the most over people in the company. I keep saying that.
Yeah, she's the best. And I guess Kevin Owens and Sammy, I still care about what they're doing, even though they've cooled off quite a bit. And they're trying to do the new RK Bro, except with Riddle and Drew McIntyre.
What is this about? I didn't see that part, but I saw like he threw McIntyre threw a chair at Kofi and not Kofi. He threw a chair at.
Oh yeah, Concussion Protocol, Xavier Woods.
What was that about?
I guess it was the New Day versus some tag team, and Riddle and McIntyre were like watching from the sidelines. They were doing commentary, and I guess something happened, and McIntyre threw the chair, hit Xavier Woods in the head for a shoot, brother, and Concussion Protocol, but he's fine.
Doesn't work for me, brother.
Yeah, he got hit with the hard part of that office chair, and apparently
Now we have another New Day member down.
Yeah,
maybe
smarts.
it's time for Kofi Mania too.
Yeah, I think that's never gonna happen. What do you want to see John Cena do on SmackDown?
I like your Cody idea. I mean, like we kind of have to do that if. Well, I mean, it would make sense. See, maybe who's the dude he's having the promo show with? What's the show?
Well,
Grayson
Cody
Waller?
is doing the show with Grayson Waller.
Oh, maybe yeah. Cody and them could have a match, or maybe at some point have a little short program with this guy. Maybe get a little bit of a rub off Cody, maybe, and then like what's next for Cody, and it's like. Dun, dun, dun. And then like Cena's music hits.
Oh, I want to tell you that I'm reading this. I'm reading this article.
Kane!
That's gotta be Cena. Forbes magazine. He's gonna do 8 total episodes. So I read you 6 from.
Okay.
But he's gonna be working into October, and they're saying here are 4 potential opponents that we think could be good for John Cena. AJ Styles, a familiar foe. Cody Rhodes. LA Knight. Solo Sikoa. They're kind of pumping the brakes on the bloodline, but it isn't gone. No, I don't think he's going to get involved with Solo because then he would have to get involved with the Bloodline, and that's more than like an 8-week type of proposition. I think a little Cody run will be perfect. I think it's a ripe time for a nice little Cena versus Cody thing. Or I guess maybe it's Cena versus Waller. I don't know.
I mean, you got to sell Survivor Series. That's the last big one. Well, I mean,
They're going to do like Hell in the Cell before that, aren't they?
Yeah, but that's the Survivor Series is the last big show before. Well, then it's Hell in a Cell, yeah, but then like the last of the big five. Because now it's the big five. It used to be the big four. Now do they consider Money in the Bank one of them now?
Perhaps.
Or did they stop?
Perhaps.
But I'm down with that. I'm down with the Cena idea because like if you're going to, I mean, you could be like, oh, like Cena, and then he could beat Cena or have a series of matches with Cena. I mean, this is perfect timing for him to have a program with Cena because of the writer's strike.
Perfect. I agree.
And then you can get him to the end of the year, and then we can kind of just like fly into Rumble, and you got to have him win again.
He wins again.
How many times has Cena won? How many times has Austin won? How many times has Orton won?
Back-to-back Cody victories. Highly improbable, but possible.
Finish the story.
All right, on to the talk of the weekend. Tell me about your all-out experience. You flew home from Guns N' Roses, didn't say hello to your girlfriend, didn't say hello to everybody, walked right past everybody, went and put on All Out, watched 5 hours of AEW wrestling live from Wembley Stadium.
Our girl is so pissed because I made her watch that. Because like I was away the whole weekend, and the very first thing we did was watch 5 hours of this show.
Yes, I love that for you.
What
were her impressions?
She was pretty pissed.
And then
2 nights, and then 3 nights later, we had to watch Dynamite again.
So it's literally like, what is this? Why are you making me watch this? What is wrong with you?
She's going to Grand Slam on her birthday.
Hey,
that's what I'm trying to train her for.
Her knowledge needs to become.
We're gonna take NJ Transit there.
I love it. I love that for both of you. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
An AEW fan's dream.
Yeah, unfortunately, I flew back on Spirit Airlines. So.
Oh, Spirit's not so bad.
No, not as bad as AEW though. So.
AEW kind of is the Spirit Airlines of televised wrestling.
Frontier. Trying to think of something silly that happened on my flight, but it was a pretty tame Spirit Airlines flight.
Did anybody clap when the plane landed?
Oh, the woman next to me wouldn't shut up. That's what it was. Oh, and then she tried to clap. Yeah. She was watching. She wouldn't stop bothering me. She was watching me as I played Super Sluggers 1000, which is like a SNES game because I have like the expansion Nintendo online pack, which gives me like I can play like whatever games they upload to like an N64 app, SNES, Sega, Game Boy Advance, and just all on the Switch.
Sounds great.
So, she was like, "Oh, you got an out. Oh, it's home run. Congrats." I'm like, "Stop. Please stop talking to me." But anyway, so yeah, we went home and then watched the show. I pretty much skipped the YouTube show, the pre-show, 0 Hour.
Well, that was your first mistake, Joe, because 0 Hour.
I was already spoiled because it went on at 1 and my flight was like at 1:30. So my buddy was like, "Oh, you want me to tell you if they won the tag titles or blah blah blah?" You know, like, well, they did. And then I was watching like Hook and like Jack Perry like in the terminal on my phone.
Well, that's where all the action happened. That's the high intrigue, you know.
That's it. So what do you want to talk about? You want to talk about the show? I guess we'll do it all in chronological order.
Well, that's why I'm trying to say that MJF and Adam Cole defeated Aussie Open, and MJF hit them with a kangaroo kick.
So they Aussie Open hit a kangaroo kick?
No, this is a move that Maxwell Jacob Friedman invented after having a blooming onion at Outback.
And then
and they
what
watched
about the double
videos. They
clothesline?
watched.
Did they hit that?
They watched YouTube videos of kangaroos fighting and how to fight them, and that's where MJF thought of and devised the concept behind the kangaroo kick. And yes, they did hit the double clothesline as well.
They did. It also dawned on me. I don't know if I was slow to realizing this, but another reason why maybe they put their hottest act on the pre-show and on the pre-show first was to make sure everybody was in that building right away. Because everybody was in their seats for that first match. So that
people weren't meandering about.
They wanted it filled for the pre-show, and you saw the crowd hot from the pre-show, and you could then see that also on YouTube. I mean, there was like, I don't know, I saw the YouTube viewer. It was like the count was like almost 200,000 in 0 hour.
Wow.
So it dawned on me after. I was like, wait a minute. So yeah, I skipped those matches, but I did. Did you call them winning? I said Aussie Open.
Yeah, I said they were going to win and they were going to love.
Okay, so we're 5-4 then.
Oh yeah.
There might be discrepancy.
I don't know if I said they were going to win and love, but I said they were going to win.
Yeah. So you definitely have at least 4, and I definitely have 5.
Hey, here we go. Predictions.
Well,
up next, a match that nobody cared about turned into the match that everybody's talking about. It was Hook trying to regain the championship that his dad invented and gave to him. Very, very storied championship.
FTW belt.
The FTW title, whereas for 25 years it had only one person who ever held it, and that's the guy who invented it. Until that guy gave that title to his son. Or wait, did he give it to Ricky Starks? I don't care. It's the FTW title.
I'm pretty sure didn't Starks have it, and then did Hobbs have it too?
I don't know. It's the worst, though. FTW title, a thing...
It's the FTW belt.
...that I used to love and something that I held dear. It's now being passed around like a dirt weed at a Guns N' Roses concert in the middle of Tennessee. Just passed around for all to have and hold and smoke. And the FTW championship means nothing. However, it means something to Hook because it's his dad's. So Hook is now fighting Jungle Boy, Jack Perry, a.k.a. Danny Masterson. That's exactly who he looks like if you're trying to imagine at home. So Hook and Danny Masterson, they had a no disqualification match of some sort. And a very, very odd moment where Jungle Boy gets slammed or does some slamming on the car windshield, slaps the car windshield, goes up to the camera, and in the least badass way possibly conceived goes, "Real glass, cry me a river." And at the time I was like...
This was during this show?
It was during 0 hour. He looked right into the camera and goes,
I put it on and they were in the ring.
No, it's like there was like a car somehow involved, and there was some kind of slam onto the windshield of the car. So, it's not real glass. It's car windshield glass because it's like, shatterproof. So you go through it. It's not like you're using... I mean, yes, technically a car windshield is real glass, but it's not real glass the way that you had originally intended to use the real glass. It's a car windshield. It's completely safe. You get slammed onto it. You get a little cut, but it doesn't like splinter into your back.
Yeah, it doesn't shatter. It stays... It's all one... It's like webbing.
Jack Perry is an idiot. So basically what was going on, and the reason why this glass comment is so important, is because apparently on AEW Collision, which is the show that they invented to keep CM Punk from beating other wrestlers up in real life, they just are like, oh, you beat up everybody on Wednesday, so we're going to give you your own show on Saturday. And you pick the people who wrestle on that show. Pick the people who you can promise us you will not beat up. And those people will be on this Saturday show. And somehow, I guess, Jack Perry wasn't on that list. He is now wrestling on AEW Collision on Saturday nights. He wants to use real glass in one of his, spots with Hook. And I guess producers are telling him, no, just use the fake glass. He's like, I want to use real glass. Don't you know about Japan in 1997? They used real glass. I want to use the real glass.
I'm from GCW. I can take glass, even though we never used glass once in GCW.
I'm from GCW. It's it's violent out here. I want to be violent. I'm Jack Perry. I got a reputation to uphold.
Doesn't work for me, brother.
I guess it gets to the point where now CM Punk's like, fuck it, I'll yell at him. Like, yeah, he's not listening to us. He's like, I'm going to talk to him. And he goes, hey, kid, you're not using real glass on our show. If you want to do that, go over to Wednesday night with all the people I beat up. Apparently, Jack Perry didn't like that very much. Jack Perry had a huge problem with it, and I guess harbored a lot of resentment. And even there are reports, Joe, that going into this match with Hook, that Jack Perry told close friends and was overheard telling close friends that during his match with Hook, when they use the car windshield glass, that Jack Perry is going to pull some kind of stunt and call out and shoot pew pew on CM Punk. That's apparently the rumor. So he said, hey, real glass, cry me a river. Match ends. Boom, boom, boom. 0 hour. The pre-show is over. But guess who is waiting backstage?
I did pick Hook to win.
You picked Hook to win? Okay, Hook wins. It's of no consequence. Nobody cares. And who was waiting backstage right behind the curtain?
Mussolini!
Watching the whole thing on the monitors because their match was next. The pay-per-view was starting and Samoa Joe and CM Punk were opening the show. And Jack Perry and Hook were closing the pre-show. So I guess there's some kind of exchange. There's been mixed reports. There's been reports that Jack Perry shoulder checks CM Punk as he
so many like conflicting reports between like Wrestling Observer and like Torch and all these other sites.
Right, like the reporters who CM Punk calls are reporting one thing, and the reporters that Tony calls are reporting another thing, and the reporter that Jungle Boy called is reporting another thing. So there are no facts. There's really just hearsay. But apparently there was a bump.
Modern wrestling.
Or there was a bump or a smudge or some kind of like disrespectful thing. CM Punk goes, "Hey, do we have a problem?" And then apparently Jack Perry at some points reaches the moment where he says, "Well, what are you going to do about it?" CM Punk, and I love this story, Joe, because CM Punk, he's like an older guy,
He's definitely a gatekeeper.
And he's like a 30, he's in his 40s, he's in his late 30s, early 40s. And Jack Perry, he's just like a 25-year-old kid. And I love the idea of somebody who's 40 beating up somebody who's 25.
Walk around and find out.
I think that is awesome. There's nothing more New York hardcore than that. He said, oh, what am I going to do about it? I'm going to choke you out right here in front of everybody. Apparently there was a whole scene. There was a choking out. And that was the way to neutralize the situation. Apparently CM Punk then threatened to not wrestle. And Samoa Joe was like, no, you're definitely wrestling. Apparently the scrum happened. This is my favorite part, Joe. My favorite detail is that it happened so close to Gorilla that Tony Khan was like right there, and some monitors even fell on him.
He's like,
the monitors! I can't get up! My legs! And I just imagine him like he's got his headset in and he's not paying attention, and like Phil, CM Punk is just choking out Jungle Boy, and Tony Khan's like, way to go, Phil. Whatever you want, man. Hey, the monitor. My leg. Yeah, so and that's all that anybody's talking about. The rest of the show went on, which we will talk about. 80,000 people in attendance. They're calling it the biggest wrestling show of all time. But the only thing that everybody's talking about is whatever happened between Jungle Boy, Jack Perry, and CM Punk.
The year to the other incident. The same weekend, pretty much.
I just feel like the timing is so right that it's a year since CM Punk beat up somebody else. I hope in my bones that it's an angle. I think it might be an angle.
He was due.
And I hope it's an angle. It's like, hey, let's try to recreate this story to drum up some interest for the PPV.
Yeah.
But
well, they had to do something.
But Dynamite has come and gone, and there was no talk of CM Punk or Jack Perry, who are allegedly suspended, pending investigation. Tony Khan was sitting right there. What's there to investigate? He was sitting right there. The monitors fell on him.
He probably just acted like it didn't really happen. Like, oh, well, I was was looking at the script and was like doing something with the wires under here.
Yeah.
Jerry
He just hid
Lynn, he
under the
took me
table.
aside. Yeah, Jerry, and I was talking to Jerry about something. And I heard something.
Yeah, I didn't even see what happened.
And then all of a sudden, like, yes, something happened. I ran up, and then then
Next
some
thing
like
I know, I was
monitors
covered
fell.
in monitors.
Then like some monitors fell on me, and then I was like, just trying to.
He apologized to the monitor. Like, oh, sorry.
Sorry, he hugs the monitor after, right? He's like,
Yeah, imagine what would happen if monitors ever fell on Vince. Vince would get up swinging. He'd just start throwing bombs at whoever's nearby.
yeah, it would be, especially the new mustache Vince.
Oh, mustache Vince, he might take out an old school Tommy gun.
Yeah.
Yeah, so apparently that's all anybody's talking about. Care to weigh in on the drama? Do you like hearing about CM Punk beating people up backstage? Because I can't get enough of it.
No, yeah, it reminds me of my journey as a chef in the restaurant industry. Passive aggressive little shits who can't tell you straight up, and then CM Joe walks in the joint and then bullies the fuck out of people.
Yeah, well, I mean, I would suspect that Jack Perry, he grew up as Luke Perry's fucking son. I would assume that there are many times in Jack Perry's life where he goes, "What are you going to do about it?" And the other person goes, "Nothing. They're not going to do anything about it." These soft, entitled AEW wrestlers, they're probably all, Sammy Guevara, Jack Perry, they're all yelling at each other, "What are you going to do about it?" Nobody's doing anything about it. But then there's a guy who's actually convicted.
Gonna punch you in the face.
Yeah. So what are you going to do about it? It's like, I'm going to choke you out, and then I'm going to go out and wrestle. It's awesome. Sweet.
And that's why I've always loved him, because he's a man of his word. And then when he's not, when he's over it, he'll just fucking leave. Like, I'm out. I quit.
Well, that's apparently Jack Perry left the arena. Nobody asked CM Punk to leave the arena, but he did under his own, volition. And apparently he was overheard screaming to friends, "I fucking hate this place." And then he went home, went to his hotel, and he ordered Nando's or whatever for the other wrestlers. He sent food to the wrestlers that were only his friends. He left out the wrestlers who he didn't like. There were 20 wrestlers backstage. He only bought food for the 9 that he likes. He's like, no, this.
But when they show up, how do they know who gets what food?
Well, CM Punk has them label it. This one's for Brody King. He's cool. This one's for Danhausen. He's cool. No food for Jack Perry. No food for the Elite. You
No
have
soup.
To get your own food. Order your own.
No soup for you.
This food is just for my friends. So.
Well,
it sounds
every event is catered anyway, so they'll be fun.
Well, he sent them extra food just to show them, hey, I'm cool. I'm a cool
yeah.
guy.
He sent him a gift. Shout out to all the catering people.
Yeah, hey.
My buddy Ruben, who may be watching, he does a lot of the AEW shows and works back there.
Ooh, what kind of catering do they get?
I mean, they get whatever they decide to make. I think. I don't think there's a really strict sort of menu. It's usually just protein, veggies, the starch, maybe some desserts and stuff. But they can, marinated pork loin or something, roasted pork loin or something, a bunch of veggies.
Well, CM Punk will send you food if you're cool.
Cheese and stuff. I don't know, try something like that. It's nothing too fancy. It's just all catering, chafing dishes style, and then you just come up and you give them a plate. That's where Joey Janela and all them used to hang out.
Catering.
Yep.
Smart.
About damn boys.
Yeah, I mean, catering is the one place where CM Punk won't beat you up, because now you know that he DoorDashes food from outside of the venue. He gets his own food.
So now that Punk is headed to the ring, he actually decides to go to the ring. What do you think of his match with Joe?
I thought it was good. I mean, CM Punk has definitely lost a step. Samoa Joe hasn't. Samoa Joe is timeless. He's as cool as he's ever been.
What do you think of the Hulk Hogan spot?
Oh, I like it.
It was good.
The cupping of the ear and the leg drop. And, he's been known to do the John Cena stuff, too.
Well, he did like the slam, and then did he do the "You Can't See Me"?
Did he combine the two most hated?
That's why I was confused, because he did like the slam and the way he set it up, and then he's standing over him, and then instead of doing this, I think he did this.
Wow, he did a
then ran the ropes. I thought he was going to do the people's elbow, and instead he just did a leg drop.
Double.
And then Joe comes up with starts hulking up, and you
love it.
Great match.
I liked that they didn't break the announce table. You'll find out as the evening goes on that the announce table was like triple enforced steel, reinforced steel leg, so it couldn't break no matter what you did on it. But they had like the I don't know what you'd call it, like the particle board as kind of like the tablecloth. And Samoa Joe slammed CM Punk through like the underneath side of the table, which I thought was so dope too.
And a gig there too, and it was the first gig of the show, so it was. Well,
it was the first gig because Jack Perry used real glass, and he had a real cut on his shoulder.
Yeah. Oh, it was on the shoulder, but I'm talking about like forehead style, so it looked good.
Poke and twist.
Yeah.
A little circle 6 right in your forehead.
Oof. What was that?
I don't know.
And that was it. He retained, and then
he retained. Then left the building. Walked past the curtain, walked past Tony Khan giving Jack Perry mouth-to-mouth resuscitation and throwing cold water.
He threw the belt at him like Brock threw the belt at Vince that one time, and he goes, "Asshole."
Yeah, he's like, "I fucking hate it here. Hey, if you're my friend, send me a text. Let me know what you want from Nando's down the road. But if you're not my friend, don't."
Nando's?
I don't know. It's like I don't know. I don't know. It's something like that. But in the report that was obviously leaked by CM Punk to the reporter, like it wasn't like, oh, and then CM Punk ordered food for everybody. It's like they said the name of the food that he ordered. It was like Nando's,
double chicken cheesesteak.
Yeah, it was like some shit.
Hold the mayo. What who do you think Punk leaks stuff to? Like what site?
Well, I know
Insider, Torch. It's definitely not Observer.
It's
that's the Young Bucks.
It's the guy Hausman. He leaked this time. He definitely leaked to Hausman. Nick Hausman, Dave Hausman.
What site is he?
I don't know. Wrestle House.
Is that what it's called? I don't know the dirt
like
sheet. All the dirt sheets.
Well, and this is the same guy because this guy's from Chicago, right? So this is the one who CM Punk actually yelled at to start the original brawl out. You know how he like accosted the one reporter saying, "Oh, you've done improv with Colt Cabana and you leak his shit." So I guess if I had to make an assumption, I would say that from that, CM Punk probably reached out to Hausman, a fellow Chicagoite, and was like, "Hey man, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to put you in the middle. You know, I thought you were still cool with Colt Cabana. I thought you were leaking stuff." So then, of course, then he becomes CM Punk's guy, this Hausman, through the apology and the unjust accosting. Now it's like, oh, we're friends. Hey, you know what? Next time I want something to get out, I'm gonna call you. Because the Hausman report was like, in my opinion, obviously leaked by CM Punk. Right down to the end detail, which is like, and then CM Punk ordered McDonald's for everybody. You know, it's like, okay, buddy. You know, he choked him out because he just didn't want to fight him. You know, and nobody asked CM Punk to leave, but he did. You know, it's like stuff like that. Whereas like Meltzer's going like, yeah, and you know, CM
pulled
Punk,
a knife and a gun on everybody.
Yeah. Meltzer's like, oh, and Miro and Samoa Joe were both furious with CM Punk, and I was like, okay.
Yeah.
I love it, though.
Why people keep throwing the Miro thing in there?
Well, because I guess Miro was very quick to quote retweet one of the initial reports and said, I was there, that didn't happen. But like he didn't offer any clarity as to what he was denying, what part of the story he was denying, or like whose side was he on. But like, you know, it was basically like, oh, Jungle Boy threw a punch at CM Punk, and Miro was like, oh, that didn't happen. But you know, that's what's implied, but you don't really know what part of the story he was actually, you know, taking issue with.
Yeah. Oh,
but then apparently there was another report that came out a few days later that said, hey, apparently CM Punk almost beat up Miro too. Miro was standing there.
There's so many like crazy reports, and people are just like throwing so much fuel on the fire now, like just to get clicks.
Yeah, well,
People just believe
that's
anything
why,
they hear.
I love the idea of Jungle Boy actually being a little shit and CM Punk actually beating him up, but I just hope for their sake that it is a storyline and that it's not just like the second time that CM Punk is now beating somebody up.
Yeah, but if they don't do anything with it, it's just another little shit that looks like shit because Punk bitched him out.
Right. But somehow the AEW fans hate CM Punk.
Because they're a bunch of drones. That's just what it is. They've been indoctrinated to hate Punk because the EVPs are what brought us AEW. They're the best. Meanwhile, they're actually the issue. That's why when I saw that they re-signed, I said, "Oh God."
Well, that reminds me. Did you see that in possibly the most passive-aggressive thing ever, much like CM Punk ordering food for only his friends and nobody else?
Oh, Jangles.
Nick Jackson took to Instagram story and shouted out all the wrestlers that he thinks are great and left out the ones that he's mad at. So you see, he goes, Sexy Chucky T, Orange Cassidy, Trenty Locks, 3 guys who worked their asses off for decades and deserve everything they've been given. Hard work and being different is what built AEW. Then he goes, Sting. They say never meet your heroes. Heroes, HERO apostrophe S. There.
Like Chris Hero?
Yeah, never meet your heroes.
Yeah, not with an E.
No E there. But that's all right. Hey, that's all right. I've seen worse spelling.
Yeah.
I disagree with that. Oh, I disagreed with that statement when I met Sting. It's an honor to have him in AEW. I mean, these guys are wrestlers, not English teachers.
Nando's is a chicken spot in the UK.
Hey, there we go.
That's what Mikey just said in the chat. Shout out to Mikey. He's a buddy of mine.
Hey, shout out Mikey. Nando's is a chicken. See, I knew it was something. What did I say? Nando's? You got it.
What is Nandor from? Nandor.
I don't know. Sounds
is that from? Continue.
Then Nick Jackson goes on to go, Hikaru Shida. She doesn't get enough credit for what she's done for the division. She deserves her flowers.
Oh, Nandor is from what's the vampire show? That's like The Office.
Oh,
What We Do in the Shadows.
Yeah, there
What
you
We
go.
Do in the Shadows. Nandor is one of the Nandor.
Yes. Great show, by the way. Adam Cole and MJF. Bravo, guys. Somehow had the entire audience captivated, not only once, but twice during a 5+ hour event. I feel like that's probably what your girlfriend said about it. She said, wow, these guys are great. I've been captivated not once, but twice by both of these guys over the course of a 5-hour event.
It's like this.
Darby Allin, the craziest individual I've ever met in the business. AEW is honored to have him every single week. Don't tell Kenny I said this, but the best wrestler in the entire world, Will Ospreay. And, he just goes on to continue to suck. And this is what I was getting at. To Eddie Kingston, I love you. You're a huge reason why we stayed. You'll hate me for posting this.
Yeah, that was pretty random why Eddie would be.
Well, you know why? They probably gravitated towards Eddie when they realized they need somebody who would actually fight CM Punk on their behalf.
That might have been because, Eddie is also hot head, but will smack a bitch.
He'll throw down. Thanks for being so competitive, Dax Harwood and Cash Wheeler. You guys drive us to be better. This isn't over. And then the final one, they posted original photo of All In with Cody Rhodes. This doesn't happen without you. Spoiler alert for people who say we hate each other. This isn't true. I fucking hate the term spoiler alert now, by the way.
Spoiler alert!
Yeah, that's so lame. And then also, this is like double lame because it's like, for those of you who say we hate each other, like the idea that you run your own social media, like consumed with the idea that you're talking to your haters is so fucking lame. And then to combine that with spoiler alert, compounded fraction there. Just so lame. Lame.
Well, wait. Well, who was he talking to at the end that hate each other? Who was he?
Cody Rhodes. This doesn't happen without you. Our haters. Spoiler alert: we don't hate each other, like you guys all say. It's like, okay, dude, please don't talk to your social media followers in a way like you're talking to like the people who talk shit on you, who you made up in your head, like the faceless Twitter users who you do everything to anger. Like get the fuck over it. Just do your thing.
Back when they first started, like right before, I think it was the weekend All In started. Whenever they had the first like Starcast, it must have been the same week as All In, or maybe the first All Out or something. And there was a panel with like Cody. I think it was the whole Elite, or it was just Cody and the Bucks.
Yeah, it was all of them. Yeah, I remember that.
It was this huge turnout at the stage. People are asking questions, and somebody gets up and is like, like the Bucks like to say that they're like really religious.
Yes.
Guy gets up and he's like, I am also a man of the faith. I don't remember exactly what the question was, but he stumped them with this question about like, how does like religion, I think it was like, how does religion play a major part in like wrestling or your life or something like that? And they were not prepared for this question. They're just like, yeah, like, yeah. They just kept looking at each other and they couldn't answer it. And I just was like, oh man, that was like one of the first strikes with me. So I wish I knew the exact question that was asked. But
they're Christian AF.
I remember everyone looking at each other too, like, oh no. And then they kind of showed their ass on that one. But it was probably a silly question also on top of it. But whatever.
Speaking of showing your ass, the next match was Bullet Club Gold defeating Bullet Club Elite.
It's the Golden Elite.
The Golden Elite versus Bullet Club Gold.
Of Hangnail.
Yeah, it was Hangman, Kenny, and what's his name? Kota Ibushi.
Versus Gin and Juice and Take a Shit.
Yes, correct. I wasn't really paying attention during this one.
Good match.
Did you watch it?
I watched this match. I watched the first match. I fell asleep during the match. This match? What was after this? Was the Stadium Stampede after this?
No, it was FTR and the Young Bucks after this.
I fell asleep during that match and then woke up like towards the end of the Stadium Stampede. But anyways, the Sick Man was all right. I mean, it was fine. I guess.
One of many multi-man matches on this card. One of two.
You said it was only two singles, right?
Yeah, and one of two matches featuring Don Callis. I kind of skipped over this. FTR and the Young Bucks. I mean,
well, Take a Shit. By the way, Take a Shit got the pin on Ken.
Yes, and now they're fighting it all out.
Yeah, they're definitely pushing Take a Shit. There's something I want to say later about how they're booking certain people. That's going to be like at the end of the show. But yeah, go ahead.
FTR beat the Young Bucks. You fell asleep. It was the same thing as everything. Spike pile driver, 2 count. Steal each other's finishing moves, 2 count. Do your own finishing moves, 2 count. And then final move, finally a 3 count. So they kissed Nick Jackson's little head, and FTR kissed his little head and gave him like the knees. And then they shatter machined his ass.
Oh, yeah. They really messed this feud up. It could have been something so much more with these guys. But,
kind of rushed, too.
The Bucks bullshit gets in the way.
There was one moment during this match. I think it was this match. Now I'm not sure. It might have been during the Anarchy in the Arena Stadium Stampede. But I think it was during this. The pin was so bad because like it was like the other guy was coming to interrupt it. I'm pretty sure that Dash was pinning one of the Young Bucks and like it was supposed to be a breakup, and like Dax wound up breaking up his own guy's pin.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think the spot was supposed to be that he got maybe pushed into it, but the other guy was, like, nowhere to be found, not in the right spot. So, like, Dax, I think, kind of stumbled in and, like, broke up the pin.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it was so weird. It was so awkward. I don't remember if it was for this match or the other one, but there was definitely a blatant moment where the camera is right there. 1, 2, and the guy's own teammate with nobody else around just, like, basically breaks it up.
Yeah.
I forget which match it was, but yeah,
like
it's fucking
somebody was supposed to like tackle-ish, and it was supposed to be two guys that land on the pile that break up the tag, kind of that move.
yeah, it was something like that.
It was probably in the next match because that match was a complete shit show.
And you know that's another thing too. They think they're doing long-term storytelling. Like, wow, the first time the Bucks beat FTR, it was because Cash Wheeler missed the 450. You know, the guys who don't do the flips tried to do the flip, and that's all the window the Young Bucks needed to win. And because, like, they don't have any other original ideas in their head, they're just like, yeah, do that again, but this time you reverse the reversal. It'll be a callback. It's like, it's not a callback, it's just lazy. You're just doing the same thing. It's the same match.
Yeah.
I don't know. But FTR wins.
They retain,
They
but
retain.
but at what cost? At what cost?
Well, and now they are, they're doing like a battle royale tournament, tag team battle royale on Friday, Rampage. But it's not even to see who's going to fight FTR. It's to see who fights Max and Adam Cole. So Max and Adam Cole are like the more promoted tag team champions than the own tag team champions of the company.
Yeah.
You know, like Max and Adam Cole are now the most popular tag team, even though FTR just finally beat the Young Bucks. Like, kind of.
That's what I'm saying. Like, there was no heat behind it, so it was like it could have been a huge moment for them. Instead, it was like, how do we book 2 pay-per-views in 1 week?
And then so this match was wild from the very beginning. Best Friends, Orange Cassidy, Penta El Cerro Medio, and Eddie Kingston versus Blackpool Combat Club with Santana and Ortiz, who, by the way, are still not on good terms, despite working with each other during this match. Fun fact from the dirt sheets, if you wanted to know, Joe.
Good match to then have them in, because they can be on either side, like one up in the mez and one down on the floor, and keep them separate. And then they don't actually have to like come to blows with each other also. So
yeah, the only thing worse than the actual wrestling of this match was the camera work, capturing the wrestling of this match.
Just like all over the place, right? I only saw half of it. Like I said, I woke up halfway through. I woke up towards the end, and what I saw was actually good, which I guess it was Take It Home.
I'll tell you this.
The Taipei.
Right, he smashed fake glass, by the way. Guy had to be fake glass. It ended with Orange Cassidy putting tape on his hand, on his fist, with the sticky side out, and then punching a bucket with a glass in it and coming out with glass on his fist and punching the guy. And by the way, in case you were wondering what kind of effect a glass fist has, apparently just knocks you right out. You just get knocked right out. You don't get cut and go like, oh God, You just get knocked out. Whereas like a normal punch, you're like, oh, I got punched. I'm a little woozy. But if you have glass shards,
buffs the punch.
Right, it just buffs the punch. It doesn't inflict bleed. It just power up, strength up.
No, it could inflict bleed, but in this case, it was used as the finish.
Right. So he just knocked him out like 10
Let's
count.
have bleed damage and more physical damage. It just was used as the finish. So.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So there is bleed damage, but what you don't know is that it also increases normal damage.
They should have did, if we had bleeding damage, they should have did it earlier in the match so they would bleed out.
Right.
But they're all.
Yeah, this was wild. JR left, by the way. After the FTR tag match, JR was like, all right, well, Stadium Stampede's coming up. I'm out of here.
Yeah, he wanted nothing to do with that. That sucks. Was that it for JR for the whole show?
Yeah,
or
he just went back to the hotel, got some Nandors.
Nandors.
Hey, you know what? I guarantee you that JR was on the CM Punk chicken list. Like JR was getting chicken from CM Punk, 100%.
I'm sure Punk is cool with everybody, a lot of those WWE guys anyway, because he was at the Cauliflower Club thing this week.
Yes.
See that? And he was like looking all buddy with Bradshaw and Farouk.
Yeah,
I would never think Punk was cool with Bradshaw, because Bradshaw is like a known dickhead.
Well, you know why? Because CM Punk has the perfect thing to say now. He could go up to anybody. He could go up to The Undertaker. He could go up to Triple H. He could go up to The Miz. Because he already apologized, you remember. He apologized to Triple H and The Miz. He just stopped by. He just swung by to be like, hey. So this is what he could say. Any bridge that he burned when he was leaving WWE, he can instantly repair by being like, hey, I didn't realize how right you were, because now I'm in the position that you are, and I'm seeing these dickheads like run around, and I want to kill them all. So like I can only imagine how much you wanted to kill me. And then he aligns himself, ha ha ha, these stupid kids, these stupid wrestling kids. So now, whereas CM Punk was like treating JBL the way Jack Perry treats CM Punk, now CM Punk, because he's older, could be like, hey, JBL, I've always been on your side, man. Look at these dumbasses,
A wrestling god.
Then JBL is like, hey, that's CM Punk. He's not that bad of a guy. At least he gets it now,
That Farouk's like, damn. That's the gimmick. Yeah.
By the way, this next match, nobody in the world predicted it the way that I predicted it. I told you that Saraya was going to win this women's championship title, and I told you that her whole family was going to be there. What's the name of the movie? What We're After.
I think it's
Fighting with My Family.
My Family.
Yeah, they're pushing for a sequel, let me tell you.
Jesus. Yeah, and she came out to We Will Rock You.
Yes.
They sprung for that too. So but yeah, the match itself was, you could tell the girls were definitely giving it their all in this one. They were laying it in a little more too. I picked Tony to win. I just figured maybe we were going to go with the silly Marilyn Monroe gimmick that they're going with right now. But maybe she doesn't really need a title reign to be over with that. So
stop the presses. Saraya has a book coming out. Apparently she said it at the media scrum. Her appearing at the media scrum is the reason why I shut it off. But apparently during her press conference, she announced that she has a book coming out.
Yeah, the scrum kind of sucked. I didn't watch it all. The guests that they had on there sucked. They should have had Punk on there.
Also, they say that the scrum starts at 6, 5, whatever. And the live, it's the video's live for 45 minutes before it actually starts.
Oh, yeah, I saw that too.
It's so bad.
Oof, brutal.
Because I was kind of interested. I wanted to check in. And they usually lead with the most interesting person. And, and it was just I kept checking in. I just gave up. It was an hour. They were live for an hour before anything even happened. So I was like, all right, enough of this. Yeah, the women's match was good. I was wondering how they were going to turn Saraya and Toni Storm against each other. And I think Toni Storm accidentally hitting Saraya's mom was the perfect way. And what was great too? Shout out to her mom, who I think was like a female wrestling pimp and molester, I think, if I'm not mistaken, back in her day.
What's her name again?
I might be confusing her with Fabulous Moolah, but I think Paige's mom is POS. I'm not sure. But anyway, it was so great because she, instead of getting completely knocked out cold, she went stiff as a board, fell back. But then in the next shot, she was like, let me out. It's hold me back. It makes sense because Paige's mom used to be a wrestler. So she wouldn't just be hit like a civilian.
Knight.
Yeah, they're the Knight family.
Yeah, but you don't know what the first name is?
Jim, I think. Neidhart.
I keep thinking, her name was Saraya Knight, but that's pretty sure what. Wait, is that Paige's real name? Is Saraya?
I don't care. I don't know. I don't care. Next match. This is my favorite match of the evening.
Saraya.
My favorite match of the evening. It might shock you to hear that I loved with all my heart. Sting and Darby Allin versus Swerve Strickland and Christian Cage. Simply because Darby Allin really insists on trying to kill himself every match that he has. And I can't take my eyes off this little bastard.
My favorite part of watching these silly shows is like mansplaining like stipulations to these matches to my girl.
Oh, that's the best part.
Okay, the coffin match, it was made famous by The Undertaker because of the dead gimmick and everything. But usually it was like a casket match. But now this is a coffin match because Darby does like a coffin kind of drop gimmick. And the stipulation is you have to put your opponent in the coffin and just close the lid.
And I'm sure at the end when Swerve had his little fingers out, you were yelling to your girl, "It's still not in. It still doesn't count. And the lid is not closed."
Gotta be Kane! Yeah.
Yep. There was one part where Darby Allin, I believe he set up the coffin on the outside and Swerve was laying on the coffin and he went to coffin drop Swerve from the top rope to the coffin on the outside, and he basically like broke his neck. Like
I thought he was gonna go through it. I was like, watch this. I was
no,
like,
it didn't even have any give. His neck like looked like he was in a car wreck, dude.
They like legitimately went and got like a real coffin for this.
Yeah, and his shit went like, oh man, yeah.
They're not on drugs. They think of this stuff straight.
Right. This is what happens when your wrestlers are not on drugs.
Destroy their skeletons.
Yeah, they're trying to destroy their skeletons, sacrifice their skeleton, fracture their skeletons. Yeah, Darby Allin trying the coffin drop. And then later on with the 450, like every bump on this coffin, I was just like, gadzooks. And then Sting is insane. Sting's just like hurling his 70-year-old body all over the place.
Cornette said he was dressed like the women do when they go to Saudi.
That Sting dresses like a female wrestler wrestling in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, like covered.
Yeah, can't show any skin.
All black, another shirt on top of that. Can't show any like form whatsoever. Yeah.
It's because he's all wrinkled. He looks like Mr. Burns underneath there, dude.
I mean, I guess it's what he chooses to wear the ring for whatever reason. Maybe it is like Flair wore a shirt in his last match, right? For a reason. He was also hitting the crickets.
Right, he had the black cricket bat. Because there is no baseball in England. There is only cricket.
Amazing.
So dumb.
So much lore. It was very like English lore heavy.
I do like Swerve Strickland though. He's all right. Oh man, you know what else was fucking brutal? Luchasaurus choke slamming Nick Wayne on the skateboard, like thinking that the skateboard is gonna
break. The deck was gonna break.
Yeah, like because if you jump with both of your feet as hard as you can in the middle of a skateboard, you could crack it. But however, I have done it and I've seen it done where unless there's like a hairline fracture, you could go double stomp and the shit could just fly out from under you. It's definitely happened.
The make of the deck though, right? Like there's better wood,
Yeah, but I mean for the most part an actual skate, I don't know. I guess you could double stomp it.
Didn't you used to skate?
Yeah, well that's what I'm saying. Like even the shittiest skateboard, unless it's like gimmicked, it's kind of hard to take a fresh skateboard
and boards that are like legit, that are like really durable or something like that,
Well, whatever type of boards those are, that's the type that Nick Wayne got chokeslammed on because the shit didn't even budge.
Yeah, I was thinking that as it was going up. I'm like, this ain't gonna work.
And that's like a good way to like get horribly injured.
Well, yeah. Plus, there's padding. The board was on their outside. They have like that thick foam padding.
Right.
That also has give, so the board then is going to go down. The trucks or the wheels are going to go down or whatever.
Yeah.
Those are going to.
And Luchasaurus kind of chucked him down because Luchasaurus thinking, I got to give him enough momentum to get him through this board. So he didn't like let up. He like fucking kind of spiked him down. And dude,
they should have gimmicked it. I mean, maybe they did and they just botched, but if they didn't, someone should have thought about it.
It was fucking brutal. So many times throughout this show, especially during this match, I was like, wow, these guys really are getting really fucked up. These guys are really fucking themselves up, and not in like a cool Mick Foley way, but in a dumb way.
It's just every match is just like basically the same. Everyone just like fucks each other up in these big gimmick matches.
So that was my favorite.
Character or fucking up their body.
This is what happens when your wrestlers are not on drugs. Swerve Strickland gets put into the coffin, but his hair was actually hanging out of it, so the match is still going on right now. And just nobody knows it except for me and you. Up next, Will Ospreay versus Chris Jericho. Way-oh. Way-oh.
You trying to warm up the crowd? Like
that's the Freddie Mercury Live Aid thing.
Oh, is that exactly what he was doing at Live Aid, though?
Yeah, the Live Aid was like at the old Wembley. But it's just very funny because, like, what do people who are performing at Wembley Stadium do when they have no idea of the actual history of Wembley Stadium? Default, Freddie Mercury. That's like what Wembley Stadium posers do.
The Bucks were dressed as Freddie Mercury, too. Their gear had the gold sleeveless vest.
Nobody in the entire AEW locker room could come up with a different Wembley Stadium reference.
Yeah, I mean,
they all went directly to Freddie Mercury.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's the most popular one.
Yeah, but that's like poser. That's like poser shit. It's like going to CBGB's and be like, yeah, the Ramones, or whatever.
No.
Right, so Chris Jericho comes out, wireless mic in hand. Way-oh, way-oh, oh.
The crowd was like, huh? The crowd didn't give a shit.
And this is the best part. You sent me this. This is my favorite thing from All Out.
Oh.
Even more than Jungle Boy getting beat up. Even more than Darby Allin trying to break his neck in front of 80,000 people live. Chris Jericho posted something. Aerosmith, Fenway Park, 38,700. The Beatles, Shea Stadium, 55,000. AC/DC at Donington, which I don't even know where that is, 72,500.
Donington is a castle in England, I believe. It's
all right, well, there you go. Well, that record, previously held by AC/DC, consider it shattered because Fozzy performed in front of 81,035 people, considering now that they are the only rock band to play in front of that many people. They have cemented their legacy as possibly far better than Guns N' Roses.
Well, I'm pretty sure Guns N' Roses played the Freddie Mercury tribute show. So did Metallica, and that was at Wembley.
Well, that's not what Chris Jericho posted on his Facebook.
I'm going to look up the capacity for that show.
How many fans did Guns N' Roses perform in front of in Tennessee? What, like 15,000, 20,000? Pathetic.
It was a soccer stadium, so probably.
Fozzy now destroys that.
I've also seen Fozzy play in a club for like 150 people.
It's like Jericho had 81,035 people held hostage under his command and forced them to listen to him perform.
Hey,
he's like, they can't take this away from us, Fozzy.
So if he wasn't already so insufferable every week, he could use it in like his promo. You know what I mean? He can maybe get it over too,
Well, yeah, if he could say that in a tongue-in-cheek manner, but the problem is like he actually believes that. Like he actually thinks like, yeah, we're the greatest rock band in history. We just performed in front of 81,000 people. You know how in the Stadium Stampede Moxley got skewered?
Yeah.
Chris Jericho looks like he got skewered with hair.
Oh yeah, he was limp syncing that, and then Sammy just awkwardly walks out with him, right? Just with him as he sings to the ring, and
I was kind of thinking that to myself, like, that really sucks for Sammy. How cool would it have been to see Sammy Guevara versus Will Ospreay at Wembley Stadium?
Yeah, that's also what I've been thinking about is how much Sammy is not benefiting from any of this.
No, and
And
you know, they picked up the story a little bit last night, which we'll get to.
yeah. I have like I said, I have a whole big spiel about these guys, right? So
So you know, the Chris Jericho Osprey match was good. Osprey's awesome, and this was the first match of the night, really the only match besides the main event that felt like a big fight feel kind of to me, because you know the sun has set. You know, like
yeah,
it was like a one-on-one match, so it actually. I'm
because they're
sorry.
in Mania field, yeah.
I don't know if they ever got as close to a Mania feel. I don't know if they ever got close to a Mania feel for me. But I could go big fight feel. I could say big fight feel.
I thought it was a nice Mania feel because it's just how the camera angle and the hard cam, the fans just go all the way back.
Yeah.
You know, it goes back like 50 rows, and then you have like the canopy thing, and then the wide shots and everything, like, and then the twilight into night.
Yeah. I mean, the crowd visually was impressive, but we were talking about it. I'm sure they were loud, but the broadcast didn't do them justice if they were loud. Like the crowd seemed a little subdued.
They mic the crowd the Dynamites because the crowds are like, it's only like 2,500 people at these Dynamites now, but like, so they have to mic them to sound louder. So maybe they assumed that it wasn't going to be. Maybe they couldn't mic them because it was like, oh, too loud. Maybe they did a sound check or something like that. I don't know.
Well, I mean, I will say that when WrestleMania is outside, they seem to suffer from the same problem, which is that the sound goes up and out.
That's right. The sound goes up and out.
However, playoff baseball is an open air stadium, and when you're watching that or watching a football game, it sounds loud.
I don't know. I think it's all miking the crowd and stuff. They have the power to do it, but it's maybe like it's probably hard to like sound check it too. So like they gotta just mess with it in the mix, you know. Like I remember last time I went to a Dynamite, it was in Philly. I sat right behind the audio board, and this guy is just messing with this thing all night. You know what I mean? Like entrances, promo, like the ring audio, the this PA, that like just like messing with sound the whole time. You know?
Sounds awesome.
Sounds awesome.
Up next, another kind of mini bathroom break match here. You had the Acclaimed versus House of Black. Once Billy Gunn came back, you knew the Acclaimed were taking those trios titles off of House of Black.
Was the match any good, or it was just another multi-man whatever?
Well, they did. Do you know what their move is? The Acclaimed do scissor me timbers. Do you know this move?
I think so. What is it?
It's basically like the Dudley Boys was up headbutt to the groin.
Oh,
except
yeah.
it's a leg drop to the groin.
Yeah.
And they did it to Julia Hart.
Oh, yeah. I remember that. Yeah. Oh, my God.
So
Also,
Bowen's leg dropped her groin.
House of Black was in all white.
Yeah, they were completely confusing everyone.
They were in their main event whites.
And they had the lantern. They had the Bray Wyatt lantern with them.
Did they?
Yeah, somebody came out with a little lantern. As an homage.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I mean, and it showed their masks. I guess Malachi Black posted a photo of their masks. And they had some, like, super, intense, successful, famous mask maker make these masks. And the up-close shots of these white masks that they wore were awesome. It's like...
the son of the Harpies from Game of Thrones. Do you remember that? Shame. But they look like they were from like Game of Thrones gang.
Yeah, so badass Billy Gunn and the Acclaimed beat the House of Black. They leg dropped Julia Hart's groin, and some other stuff happened. And
new
champs. And then you had the main event previously in the evening. The team of MJF with his best friend, the man who's given him a softer side of life, showed him a softer way of acting. MJF and Adam Cole, new Ring of Honor tag team champions, fought each other for the AEW World Championship. I mean, this was by far the best match of the night.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
I was super into it. Both guys look great. I'm not a big fan of matches that reset. I hate that thing. I hate when they do that angle, like, oh, let's restart the match, or 5 more minutes, or the match goes into overtime. The match is always over in overtime. It's one fall to a finish.
Right. Well, and I think that double clothesline, what you're referring to is when they double clotheslined each other, which is their tag move, but they both clotheslined each other, which is also a double clothesline. And this happens a lot. It's a common wrestling trope. The guys are digging down deep. They have no moves left. Both men thinking the same thing. Boom, double clothesline, double down. Both men now have to answer the 10 count, or the match is called out, which I thought would have been a lot more effective here than having them just have each other's arms draped over the other guy, and then there being a 3 count.
Rocky. Like in Rocky 2, when Rocky answers. No, that wasn't in Rocky 2. When Apollo doesn't answer the call, like he gets up at like 9 and then just like falls, at the 9 count. Just have him do that maybe, and neither of them answer the 9 count or answer the 10 count. Like they could really milk it, like it's like a 10 count on the outside, but in the ring.
Right.
Could have been like that too, because they would have shitted on a count out. It almost was a count out. He went to 9 at one point. Bryce, right. He did count to 1 point, but they could have did something like that, but whatever.
I love that Bryce took the Canadian Destroyer, by the way.
Yeah, that was kind of. There was one spot where he tried to give him the Canadian Destroyer, and then he did like the Kenny Omega too tired, I collapse, roll out kind of spot. Like he did that. I remember Omega did that during Okada one time where he was going to hit him with the Rainmaker, and then like Kenny just goes like falls down. Like he just kind of collapses to the knee, and then like the clothesline goes over you, Right. Where so this he kind of like collapsed, like MJF collapsed and rolled out, and I mean it wasn't that great, but I remember seeing that.
I just think it's very comical that if you're about to do a Canadian Destroyer to somebody, it's very cartoonish that you could pull somebody else in and
can get locked into that like.
Yeah. Also, and I don't want to shit on Bryce because, hey, he took the Canadian. He wore the full hazmat suit for the explosion. He seems like a fun, nice guy. But
Philly native. But he is from Philly.
But, the shot of the main event with the two wrestlers looking at each other, side profile face off, and then the referee's dumb face, like right in between their faces. That's so fucking stupid. You don't see that in The Rock versus Hogan. You don't see that in any The Rock, Stone Cold. You don't see that in any of like the great face-offs in the history of wrestling. You don't see the referee's little face in between the face.
I'm here too, guys.
Oh yeah, it's a 3-person show. It's like, no, yes, you are part of the match. Yes, your job is very important, but there is no reason to put your little face in between the two wrestlers' face. Like, it's like, man, hey, how many kids around the world are going to want a poster of this moment with Bryce Rensburg's face right there?
Of all, it could have been worse. It could have been Aubrey.
Well, she does it too. They all freaking do it.
They're all trying to get over, bro.
And it's just so stupid to me that you would think that it's okay for the two main event wrestlers to be facing off in a very tense situation, that you're going to stand directly across some hard cam and put your little fucking... This is so dumb. I'm here too.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, yeah, of course you are. They have 3 referees in this whole company. So it's probably, it's a 1/3 chance it's going to be you every time. Just don't put your face in the middle of their faces.
They have Aubrey, Knox, Turner, and him, Rice, Remsburg, 4. They might have a 5th actually now, but I think it's only 4.
Oh boy,
Turner is my favorite because he's ROH OG.
So Bryce took the Canadian. Also, another very funny part was, they did the classic, he just got destroyed in a Canadian manner, so he's crawling over to do like the count.
1.
And that's the best one. He does 1 and then like passed out. Like he was like 1. 2. Like he died. He passed out in between each one. Like there was no motion between like 1 and then like trying to. It's just like 1 die. 2 die.
So
This is just great. He's so over the top. He's so wacky and whimsical. But the match was great. They tried to Eddie Guerrero each other.
oh, that spot was fun.
They were throwing the chair back and forth.
And then he puts the chair like on his neck.
Right, like Cole won the Eddie Guerrero face-off and collapsed with MJF holding the chair, perfectly framing him for when Bryce finally comes to disqualify him, making it appear as if MJF hit Adam Cole with the chair. But then MJF does another very cartoonish thing. He like looks to the left, looks to the right, then looks directly at the camera, shrugs. You know, it's like so stupid. But then he like put the chair on his head to make it look like he got it worse. And then Adam Cole was like, "What the hell?" You know, yeah, it was fun. It was fun.
Were you cracking up when Roddy was doing stuff in this match?
Yes, Roddy Strong in the next brace is my favorite.
It's hilarious. He's like, "Great!
I'm your best friend. I'm your best friend." He looks a lot like that one actor from The Leftovers. Roderick Strong. You know, the main guy from The Leftovers? Look it up, people. Look it up. Pop a neck brace on that guy. Looks exactly like Roderick Strong.
When did he I popped for one point when was it after he like tried to get Cole to do something and then he ran off. He's like, "Screw you," and he ran off. And then like after the match he came back.
Yes.
Yeah, all right, now you're gonna turn.
Right,
and
he slid him the belt. Rod slid Adam Cole the belt, was like, do it, I'm your best friend. And then Adam Cole wouldn't cheat to beat Max. And then Roddy storms off. He like,
"Screw this." He said something that made me pop. It was like, "Screw this."
Yeah, and he storms to the back. But then after the match, when Adam Cole is thinking about, turning on Max, Roddy comes out, like appears out of nowhere. He's like, do it. He's like jumping on the ropes, like, do it.
Like on the second rope, like, do it. And then he gets shut down again, and then he runs off. Ugh.
So that was a good match. That was a good ending, and neither of us suspected.
Well, ending ended up with the ending of the show, because then there is a post-match angle where, like, Adam Cole was butthurt. And he's like, "Oh, we still got the ROH tag titles," and he threw it away. And he's like, "Oh, this is all you want? Well, here, take it." And he threw the belt at him. "Do it, hit me with it."
Right.
And then they cut it out to end of the show.
Yeah. So they teased betrayal several times.
When are they going to turn these guys?
Well, I don't know, because apparently the next night on Dynamite, which we'll now get into.
So overall, what'd you think of the Wembley though?
I thought that the crowd didn't live up to what I was expecting it to be. And it's not a knock on the crowd. It's just like they must have been crazy loud, but I didn't really hear it. So I was a little upset that the crowd wasn't like hijacking the show more. And or at the very least, I just thought that the crowd was going to be a much bigger part of the entire atmosphere of the show. And besides the wide shots showing the people's bodies in the seats, the noise level wasn't nearly what I had built it up or expected it to be in my mind.
It could have been just, but I mean, they were definitely loud, but I don't know.
So, the crowd volume was a little disappointing to me. I thought the Stadium Stampede was just so fucking dumb and lame. And there were a few matches, like, put it this way. When AEW does a pay-per-view, the good matches are great, but the bar on how bad some of the matches on Dynamite are does not get raised. Like, high tide does not raise all ships. Like, the MJF match was dope. The freaking Darby match was dope. Like, the matches that would have been good were great, and the matches that were going to be shit were still shit. Like, that's kind of where I'm at. And I thought FTR and Young Bucks was a little boring, too.
I mean, it's just like the producers, agents, or whatever are just like, what are they? I don't know who's actually booking the matches and like who's going over the matches before they go out there. Maybe no one really communicates, and everyone just kind of ends up doing kind of the same thing, Well,
a lot of the matches were multi-man and no rules and very similar.
I still gave the show like a 6 or 7 out of 10. It was better than majority of the Dynamites.
Oh well, yeah, I could go 7 out of 10. I could
Yeah.
maybe even go 8 just because the main event was great. And hey, we were all saying that it would be weird for the main event guys to open the show, but they did it. It's the first time it's ever happened that the main event match was a tag team on the pre-show, and they did it. They pulled it off, and they landed the plane. The MJF Adam Cole storyline ended the pay-per-view in a very satisfying and interesting way. So I thought that was by far the best. But I'm kind of getting annoyed with Max at the press conferences. Like I think he should not do the press conference for a minute because he's like kind of corny.
Yeah.
He's kind of corny.
All right. Well, let's go into Dynamite because we have a few more things to say here.
So a little fallout from Dynamite. One thing that happened is that Sammy Guevara and Jericho ended their all-in evening with a little turmoil, a little tension. Jericho came out, apologized publicly to Sammy. There was still a little tension, but Sammy's like, hey, you know what? Nah, I'm letting it go. Don Callis, you're not going to get in my head. So Sammy Guevara and Chris Jericho are now getting ready to try to fight for some tag team championship title. I don't know which one it is.
Care
about that?
Callis' scar.
Yeah, what's up with that?
It's growing as the weeks go.
I love that.
Like a line, like just a line here. And now this week, it's like a really bright red line.
He's becoming more evil.
I think eventually he's gonna have like all shit like on his face. Like
oh, that would be awesome. He just started wearing like an eye patch.
Or I don't know. I think he's gonna just keep going with it, or he might just have like the one scar, and maybe they just happen to be like, oh, it wasn't that noticeable, and then they're gonna give a little more red for it this week, and then that's it. Or they might just keep going with it.
It doesn't. For those of you who are trying to picture this at home, it doesn't look like a cool badass scar. It looks like somebody got him with like a red Sharpie, just like. And his head is so bald and shiny. You can imagine it making the same sound as like when you put marker on dry erase board, like.
Yeah, so the situation I've been wanting to talk about is how they're pushing a lot of the younger guys better, or girls also better. Like, you kind of jumped right to that one segment, but I can say.
Well, yeah, I was just kind of thinking about All In Fallout. Also, while you're looking, I'll say this. The Acclaimed debuted their new Trios titles, and they're pink, and the back are cut out so that the titles can scissor.
That was...
I love it. I love it.
It was Sammy and Jericho passing passive-aggressive insults. That's what it was. That was that segment.
Right, there was a little attention. Hey, it was my fault, but you could have helped too.
Yeah. Yeah, you could have hit him with the code breaker a little better. I said they're building up Darby, Orange Cassidy, MJF, Adam Cole, and Tony Storm, and even Take a Shit. Guys like Sammy are still stuck spinning their wheels with the black hole of Chris Jericho stealing their heat.
Yeah, it's true.
So they are building up a lot of other people, but it's just like the same Tony Khan or whoever formula, where like they start booking them strong, they start getting over, the promos are good, you look forward to the match happens, they win the title, or they get that payoff, and then they just they pump the brakes, like the Wardlow booking. Like Wardlow got promoted super, super strong, and he beat MJF, and then he's not even on these shows anymore.
Yeah, they cut his hair, now he's gone.
Like that's why I can't get behind. Like, oh well, they're pushing Darby now. They're pushing Jack Perry. They're pushing Orange Cassidy. Had closed the show with a really serious promo. Like they're pushing all these guys. Okay, well, then when the payoff happens and they get to that one point in the booking, like Hook, then they don't do anything with them. Sometimes they don't do anything with them at all. Like they don't even get the payoff or the title win. Or maybe it's just for the pop. Or maybe that's what they just booked to. I'm just gonna book these characters and book these workers just to get to this one point. They're gonna have their moment, their Saraya moment, and that's it. You're just gonna have your moment. You're gonna have the pop. I'm a mark. Book the pop. That's it. Book that moment on Twitter. Book the GIF on X or whatever, and then that's it. Like that's all it is.
Yeah. And I'm sure he thinks, and then we'll figure it out after that. But then he forgets and moves on to something else.
Oh, because he's like super like ADD out and stuff like that.
Yeah, it is kind of sad. No Wardlow on All In. No Ricky Starks at Wembley Stadium either.
No.
And no Sammy Guevara, who, and imagine all these guys in Jericho Appreciation Society, like they spend a year doing the faction with Jericho, and like 2 weeks before the storyline states that they all quit, or like a month before they all quit, so they don't even get to be on the show with Jericho at All In. Like that kind of sucks.
Yeah. And did you see Don Callis? He went to Sammy. I don't know if I heard this wrong, but he was like, "Congratulations." What do you call him? He's like, "I hear you're pregnant."
yeah. He goes, "I hear you're pregnant."
Like,
yeah, well, that's what you say, like.
Oh, you do?
Well,
okay.
Yeah, it's like couples, like cringy couples say, "We're pregnant,"
I thought he was just like memeing him, like, "Oh, I heard you're pregnant."
Well, he was memeing him, but it was just very deeply clever, because you would like there is a scenario where a guy would say like, "We're pregnant," or like, somebody weird would go like, "Oh, I hear you're pregnant." Yeah, it was very, very funny, but I picked up on that too. I thought that was hilarious.
Also, to open the show, they had Commander versus Moxley. What's up with them booking these lucha guys versus Moxley, which is like the worst matchup possible that they can ever do?
He loves Commander from GCW.
Oh.
Yeah, that's a Moxley guy, Commander. I thought the match was supposed to be against like Ray Phoenix or somebody.
Well, the Phoenix thing was because they were just trying to write him out because he couldn't go to Wembley.
Oh.
In a row, they've had these like drawn out Moxley matches that are like, Moxley's matches are fucking terrible. Like, it's always these drawn out matches with these like high flyer guys and these like super brawler dickhead guy, and it's like just the chemistry does not work. Renee is also all over the show too. They pretty much like they take over Dynamite every week, like Moxley and Renee, like completely hold the show. Like it's ridiculous. Like, am I overreacting, or like is she's all over the show?
There is a lot of Renee.
There'll be a lot of Moxley too. He'll have a really long match. He'll be in a promo, and then probably be in some run-in as well at the end of the show. He was, because she was all over the show again with the promos, and then he had the long match, and then he came out at the end of the show too against Cassidy. So too much, dude. Too much.
Right. And Orange Cassidy is serious now. He cut a whole promo about how he will be respected. And you think you know me? You don't know me.
Yeah, you don't know me. You don't. That was
you don't know me.
You don't know me. You.
What else happened on Dynamite? Oh, he hung up on himself. Joe. Joe? Joe. Well, that's what happens when you make fun of Marina Shafir. I don't know what we're going to do, but I guess I'll go to the theme music here, give Joe a few minutes, maybe get his act together, I guess. I don't know. I mean, he is in the Catskills. So who knows what happens. Stay tuned for the ending of our show. We'll be right back. Boulevard Bullies. Hey, give me 1 second. Hold on 1 second. Hey, you all right? You got yourself a little excited there?
I got a little excited. You don't know me.
What else happened on Dynamite besides Marina Shafir actually wrestled? She was in a match.
I couldn't run away from that match any quicker, bro.
6 lady tag trios.
I ran in there, like, get me out of here. Jesus. Oh my God. I don't even know what that was. It was like some 6-man with the Freddie Mercury chick.
Oh man, she looked scary.
That was the worst. Could that be like the worst like trios group ever? Marina Shafir, Freddie Mercury girl, and I would say Nia Jax, Nyla Rose. Did you see I guess Shane Taylor is gonna wrestle? Was Shane Taylor the one that was with Keith Lee in ROH, like way back? Not way back, but he's gonna wrestle Joe on All Out. Did you see this promo?
Yeah, he was very angry.
I think Shane Taylor was who was in a tag because Keith Lee was in a tag team before he went solo. And got that big old push like in GCW and all that. I'm pretty sure it was with Shane Taylor, but it was also right after that there was a Take a Shit promo, it was a Don Callis promo talking about Kenny's body parts and what to target and stuff like that. Like, I know Kenny more than
Oh
anyone.
right, he was doing like coaching.
No cartilage here on the knee, on the hip. Hit him with the Blue Thunder on the right side, or the left side.
Right.
And so Take a Shit goes up to the camera. I'm gonna end up doing something. He's like speaking in Japanese, right? He goes right up to it, and then it's like really quiet in the arena, and you hear the crowd go, "What?" It's like an audible what, like right on top of him. Yeah, I bust out laughing at that. Then like you said, the belts got debuted. The rest of the show was kind of whatever, and then Pentagon and Orange Cassidy was the main, and it was a good match though.
Did you enjoy when they gave each other Canadian destroyers twice? They traded Canadians. Like Orange gave him the Canadian, and then Penta got right to his feet, gave Orange a Canadian. Then Orange got to his feet, gave Penta Canadian. And then there was a fourth, I believe, and then they both took a rest.
Oh, God. I really hate the Canadian Destroyer.
I might have just watched the clip twice. There might have just been two, and I watched it twice. But I don't know.
Maybe you just watched the GIF.
It was just on loop.
Twice.
Yeah, they did like 8 each.
Oh, my God. So
yeah, it was so bad. It was so bad. And then Orange, like, he's like, I don't even know. He's like he's becoming a real boy, you know. You don't know
I wouldn't
me.
be surprised. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Moxley beat him. Like, they're gonna start pushing him. You know, he's gonna start doing promos and stuff now. Okay, cool. And then Moxley's just gonna like kill his heat and take his belt.
Right, and start defending it all over the globe.
Whatever. You have any interest in All Out?
All right, All Out. Let me tell you the matches. I have them pulled up right here.
Yo, the DraftKings pool is still not ready on they I don't know what's going on. Tony Khan keeps holding up the DraftKings pool.
Well, because he's got to get all his investors and oil moguls in order and get them all in the know first so that he could scam DraftKings. You know how it goes.
And also, didn't the DraftKings thing last week say it was the All Out? No, the All In.
No, they've always been promoting DraftKings All Out. They didn't do an All In gambling.
Okay, so I thought it was the All In one, and then they just didn't have the questions ready, and then they were like, okay, now it's going to be All Out one, and it says 8 questions will be ready, available 8/31.
Right. No, it was very confusing because even in the weeks leading up to All In, they were still promoting DraftKings All Out, which confused me very much because, you know, I can't keep up with this shit.
No, I can't keep up with any of the booking. It's all over the place. But yeah, so we were gonna do the DraftKings pool, but the questions are still not available. It said it's ready for today, and it still isn't. So maybe it'll be available tomorrow.
Oh, that's right. Today is 8/31, isn't it?
Yeah, today is. Yeah, tomorrow's the 1st. So, Oh well.
Well, we'll just have to go over the results. And hey, if we're not on the show, it's because we won. We won the whole shebang, and we moved.
I did take a screenshot of the max payout, which is $1,000. So that just covers my rent. So
nice.
I'm not going anywhere.
All Out 2023 from where are they? The United Center?
Yeah, they're in Chicago all week. So what they're doing, they did Dynamite yesterday.
Right.
And then the week of when they're in town, they do live Rampage.
Right.
And then they're going to do Collision Saturday.
Right.
Head to head with Payback.
Mm-hmm.
And then probably pre-show, and then All Out.
Oh, yeah. Luchasaurus versus Darby Allin for the TNT title. Any interest?
Yes, I want Darby to win, and Darby's been doing a lot better. But like I said, they might just have him win and then do absolutely nothing with the belt. I do think he should become the TNT champion and then hold it for a while and make the belt matter again. But just things tend to fall in the cracks in this company very easily.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of like the idea of Christian carrying around the title that the giant that he manages is actually the champion of, It's kind of interesting, kind of new. And I love watching Darby Allin try to murder himself in a wrestling ring. So that'll be cool. Hey.
He's also going to throw him around. So, I mean, big dude.
But no choke slams through the skateboard, please. That's disgusting to watch. We already went over this, and from the sound of it, we both think the same thing is going to happen, which is Jon Moxley defeating Orange Cassidy for the international title.
Unfortunately, yes. I don't. They just Moxley is like the Hulk Hogan of AEW for some reason.
Chris Statlander versus Ruby Soho for the AEW TBS title.
I mean, I guess Statlander just retains. I mean, no one. This is like basically a juiced up Dynamite. Not even like it was like a regular Dynamite.
It was really funny in All In as well during the women's 4-way. Toni Storm and Saraya started fighting and arguing, and Ruby Soho came marching out. It was like, "Hey, you guys don't fight!" And like one of them like slapped her or something. There was like a miscommunication. Mm-hmm. Ruby got hit. And she was just like, "Well, fuck this," and just got out of the ring and just left. She was like, "Oh, well, they're fighting now. They're fighting. So whatever. I'm out of here."
Yeah. I'm out.
Very funny. I don't care about that. So here's what I was talking about before. FTR just won the tag team, or they didn't win. They retained the tag team titles from the Young Bucks, and they're calling the biggest, most important match, the third match in their epic, once in a lifetime trilogy. But somehow FTR aren't even the most popular tag team champions in their own company, because at All Out, Adam Cole and MJF are going to be defending the ROH World Tag Team Championships against TBD, a battle royal to determine who will face them tomorrow night on Rampage, which I guess we could look up and find out who won it. You want to see Rampage spoilers?
Oh, today's Thursday.
No, but they filmed it last night, I think.
Yeah, but remember I just said that when they're in the same town, they do it.
Oh, they do live Rampage? Well,
unless they changed it just for this week due to Collision. You can look it up.
I don't care enough. Samoa Joe versus Shane Taylor, as you said. I think that'll be cool because Samoa Joe's awesome, and Shane Taylor getting some exposure on a major pay-per-view might gain him some new fans and some new dollars, and that sounds great to me.
That's fine, yeah.
Kenny Omega versus Konosuke Takeshita. This
could be a really good match.
I think it will be a good match, and I hope that Don Callis' scar grows even more. I'm very, very excited to see how that, plays out. Miro versus Powerhouse Hobbs.
They haven't promoted it at all.
Yeah, Miro fought God, and he won. So now he's really caring about what his double-jointed, hot, drunk wife says about the Book of Hobbs or something.
Well, at least she's an alcoholic.
And now this one is also just announced. Eddie Kingston and Shibata versus Claudio and Wheeler Yuta. Do you care about that tag team match?
It's who again?
Kingston and Shibata.
Okay, versus Claudio
and Yuta.
And Yuta. Man, this is like a Dynamite, bro. I couldn't give any more of a shit about this.
Well, this tweet that I screenshotted, it was from somebody, obviously an AEW fan. They said, "Can you imagine seeing Shibata live and saying that the card is shit? Spoiled fucking Americans." Joe, are you a spoiled American because you don't like Shibata?
I like Shibata, but it's just like...
Well, get hyped.
Yeah, I mean, I guess like I like Kingston. I don't like Wheeler Useless.
Did you see also during All In, they tried to recreate the Eddie Kingston bloody gasoline moment by having him like stumble to the ring yet again? like all bloody.
No, I must have missed it. No.
Patrick Ewing jersey, though. Shout out. And this is the worst one of all. This is the worst all-out match of all. Never in my wildest dreams could I have predicted they were going to do this.
It's the main event?
Well, no, it's just the last one I'm mentioning because it's completely baffling to me. FTR, fresh off of their decisive, definitive victory against the Young Bucks, will now be teaming up with the Young Bucks in an 8-man tag match against Bullet Club Gold, Jay White, Juice Robinson, and the Gunn Brothers.
Why?
Mutual respect,
what's the
baby.
main event of the show? What is the main event of the show?
Huh. I mean,
it should be Darby versus Luchasaurus.
Yeah, but Joe, maybe the main event of the show is now no longer happening on the show.
Oh, it should have been CM Punk versus Jack Perry.
I mean, that would round this card out nicely.
Like Mussolini. Yep. I don't think CM Punk's going to be there. That's and they're going to be in Chicago, and Chicago is going to be chanting CM Punk. The only way they can fill that arena up is with CM Punk. But if they're going to be suspending people and sticking to their guns with this stupid shit, I mean, that's not.
I think it seems as if they are going to be sticking to their guns.
That's bad. Well, they're going to have a half-open, half-filled United Center because United Center fits like 24,000.
Well, apparently last night did not look good either. That now it's an annual or it's like a weekly thing that the photos of the actual hard cam side are coming out, and it's not looking good.
No. And they're going to go back to Wembley next year too.
See, I don't think that's a bad idea because I think that a lot of fans probably immediately as that was announced were like, I'm going. I'm going to go. I have a year to save my money and get my passport in order, and I'm going to go. I've always wanted.
Passport? Oh, I can't do that. That involves work.
I want to get Nandor's chicken.
Nandor. Yeah, so it's definitely like if they're gonna keep going back, like they said they wanted on the bank holiday, like the UK the England bank holiday. Right?
Is that what he meant? There's a bank holiday on that day? I thought Tony Khan was saying that he wants to make All In a holiday in England where banks are closed.
No. And then
makes a lot more sense.
And then it's a bank holiday over here for All Out. So you're gonna get pretty diminished returns.
That's a terrible idea. So he wants to do a yearly pay-per-view in Wembley Stadium followed by a pay-per-view the next weekend. That sounds dumb.
And then Grand Slam 2 weeks later after that.
Queens, baby.
But that's what I'm saying, like 3 big shows now. And then I don't know if this is correct, but there's now a new pay-per-view on the horizon.
WrestleGasm, right? What was it? It's something like that. It's something
Dream.
Wrestle Dream.
Wrestle Wet Dream.
Yeah. Woo.
It's gonna be in Seattle, right? Or somewhere in Washington in October. So Now there's gonna be All In, All Out, Grand Slam, Wrestle Dream, and Full Gear. 5 big shows in a matter of 4 months. Not even September, October, in a matter of like 3 months, like 3.5 months.
Buckle up, Joe.
Well, they're building people up. They need to start building them faster.
I don't know if they can. I don't know if they can do anything faster than they already do it on the show. Things happen and change and get forgotten about all within a few hours. Well, I hope to see CM Punk back on the AEW television. What are you going to do now? Everything in the Catskills closes at like 7 o'clock.
I know. I had to buy snacks on the way here at a rest stop just so I had some stuff here.
Nice.
But yeah, just gonna play a new video game I got on my Switch. I got the new Sea of Stars game. It's like a Chrono Trigger style RPG.
Hey, all right.
I know one of the guys who did the original soundtrack for it, so that was pretty cool. Soundtrack's fun. It's kind of like Octopath, Chrono Trigger,
Cool.
Only $35 on every. It's on every platform, but only $35.
Solid deal.
Yeah.
Sponsored tweet.
Sponsored stream. Probably have some snacks. What are you getting into?
I don't know. I think I might have some snacks as well. I have chicken doner at home.
Chicken Nandor?
No, not Nandor's. Not to be confused with chicken Nandor. Chicken doner, which is like a Greek style of the chicken. It's like on a spit and they scrape it off.
Oh.
It's like one of these things, and like a pita. Maybe
it's like it's like a gyro.
Yes. It's like a gyro, except gyro is actually the meat that goes into the sandwich, and it's like Canadian bacon. In Canada, they just call Canadian bacon ham, and like they just call and in Canada they call Canadian destroyers just destroyers. Like in Greece, they call the gyro sandwich just a sandwich.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know.
Because gyro meat is lamb and beef.
Right. Well, that's the gyro where that's also on the spit and you scrape it off. Scrape the sticks off. That to me just looks like a giant hot dog. That's like Greek hot dog.
Yeah.
And they just peel off the mini hot dogs for you. But the chicken, it's like slabs of chicken piled onto a spit and then rotisserie, and then you like cut it off and you get like the crispy little.
The bit.
Yeah, it looks kind of dope.
I just realized we have a lot to review next week, so we're gonna have another overtime show next week.
Another
probably.
jam-packed episode. Payback review.
All Out, Raw, and Dynamite. So keep on coming back, y'all.
Yeah, thanks for watching.
Hit the like button, subscribe, hit the bell.
That's right. Smash that like button.
No, seriously, hit the like button.
No, but seriously, do it. And also, we have $20 T-shirts on boulevardbullies.bigcartel.com.
Well, that's why we have merch now. Yeah.
So you can check that out. Shout out John Richter, Urka. I saw Larry in the chat making an appearance. Sean, Brian. So you guys, Logan Stein. You know this person? McManus 073 something. Probably one of Joe's friends, maybe.
Maybe, yeah.
Brian, Pork Chop Express. Somebody else who I don't know stopped in and said, what makes you think that we care about your opinions? Sorry, I would never got around to answering the question, but the answer is really not much. Just the fact that we do. So thank you so much. On behalf of Catskill Joe and myself.
Number one on the wild card.
Go Phillies, number one on the wild card. No thanks. Go Jalen Hurts, though. Football. Oh, no, I'll see you before football starts.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Oh, my God. Next week, we're going to be going up head to head with the NFL opening day.
We're going to take a hit in the ratings.
Yeah, we're going to take a massive hit in the ratings. But you know what? Stop here for sports gambling advice.
Oh, yeah.
Live, love, laugh, and go fuck yourself. Boulevard Bullies. Bye-bye.